Hey there, writers. Before we get started today, we are going to be doing a notebook entry for the first time in this new writing unit, so we need to set our notebook up. So what I'm going to have you do right now is open up your notebook to the next available page. So here's my information essay. Notice I haven't skipped a lot of pages. I turned to the next available page. What I'm going to do is fold it over, just like this. And on the fold over, I'm going to write literary essay. Please pause the video, turn to the next available page, fold over your notebook, and label it just like mine. Press play when you're ready. Now that you have your notebook organized and ready for some writing, we can close it because we'll actually use that in just a little bit. So today we're in session 2 of our literary essay unit, and today what we're going to do is start gathering writing by studying our characters. So first I have a question for you. When a substitute teacher comes in, what do you do? What are some things that you do as soon as you notice a substitute teacher's in the room? Well, you probably notice what he or she is doing, right? What he or she is doing, and you're noticing, has he or she changed the schedule? Has this teacher been here before? Does she know our routine? You're looking very carefully. You're looking for clues to tell you what kind of sub you might have for the day. And it's almost like you're spying on that substitute teacher. Well, that's how observant great readers are when they read a new story. They notice small details, just like you would notice when a substitute comes in the room. So today I want to teach you to learn that great readers pay attention to the little things. They pay very close attention to details about the main character, their traits, their motivations, their struggles, changes, and life lessons. So let's add to our knowledge that we've already been going through. In the last session we had talked about getting ideas ready by reading very carefully, even rereading to pay attention to detail. So what we had done yesterday was everybody had the chance to put some sticky notes in their independent reading books as they were buddy reading. And I saw a lot of great sticky notes were added with ideas and details that we were picking out. I also saw a lot of really nice YouTube comments with ideas that you were picking out from our excerpt of the story Fox yesterday. Well, today we're going to pay attention to the character traits. We're going to pay attention to what motivates our characters, the struggles they face, and their relationships. So first, we need to know what is an expert. What does the word expert even make you think of? Well, for me, one of the experts that I admire most and that I think of first is my doctor. And I could tell you many stories about wondering what was wrong with me when I went to the doctor, only to be told exactly what was wrong with me in the first minute of the doctor seeing me. So the doctor is the expert. He digs for details. He knows what to pay close attention to, and he's able to come to a conclusion. So expert readers do just that. In a way, we're kind of like doctors. We pay close attention to the most important things in what we're reading. So I want to read another excerpt from the story Fox today. What you should have done before watching this video is listen to the recording of Fox, the entire book. If you haven't done that, please pause and go back to Google Classroom. Listen to the entire story. If you have done that, you may continue in this video here. So I'm going to read just a page of it for now. So you should have already read the whole story. I'm going to flip to this page here. Let's see if we can get the whole thing in here. Days, perhaps a week later, she wakes with a rush of grief. I'll make her screen a little bigger. Let's see. She wakes with a rush of grief. Dog is waiting. He persuades her to go with him to the riverbank. Hop on my back, he says. Look into the water and tell me what you see. Sighing, Magpie does as he asks. Reflected in the water are clouds and skies and trees, and something else. I see a strange new creature, she says. That is us, says Dog. Now hold on tight. So we're just going to be looking at those 2 pages. But what I want to know is, what do you notice about character traits of Dog? What's his motivation? What is his relationship to Magpie like? So this is where I'm going to pull my notebook out. You don't have to copy down yet. I'll give you a chance to pause. But I want to pick out some details. So I'm going to flip to that folded page that I just created. I'm going to turn it one more, and I'm going to start fresh on here. You need to write today's date. Please check the calendar. Don't just write the word date. Check today's calendar. But the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to write my character's name, Dog. You can put a box around it, circle it, whatever you'd like to do. You could even do this in a character web if you'd like. But I'm going to set mine up kind of like a boxes and bullets. So the first thing that I notice about him, remember we want to talk about his motivation, character traits, his relationship to Magpie. The first thing that I notice is that he is caring. So I'm going to write that down. Dog is caring. And I know this because he's carrying Magpie on his back. Magpie is injured, doesn't know if he'll be able to fly again. Dog is taking care of him. His motivation, we had seen as we're reading through the story that Magpie can't fly and Dog can't see in one of his eyes. So I think his motivation is mutual help. And by that, I mean they can help each other. So they're both getting something out of this. So Dog is caring, and he's really interested in mutual help. They can help each other. So those are just 2 things that I'm noticing about Dog right now. What I'd like you to do is please pause the video, write down what I have written in my notebook. When you're ready, press play and come back. Alright, so when I come around and check notebooks, I should be able to see that you have the notes that I have written here, just as I have them written. Now what we just did here with character traits and in looking with Dog, we can actually do this with any text that we read. It could be, we could do this with your independent reading book later. So that's actually what we're going to be doing. We're going to practice, writing down some notes about Dog. So you're going to need to keep your notebook open because you're going to be adding to these notes as I read the next couple pages. So I'm going to read a couple more pages, and what I would like you to do as you're listening, add to the notes that we have here. Describe Dog. Pay attention to the character. What do you notice? What are his character traits? And what are his motivations? So I'm going to read 2 more pages. As I'm reading, write down some things that you notice. With Magpie clinging to his back, he races through the scrub, past the stringy barks, past the clumps of yellow box trees, and into the blueness. He runs so swiftly. It is almost as if he were flying. Magpie feels the wind streaming through her feathers, and she rejoices. Fly, Dog, fly. I will be your missing eye, and you will be my wings. So in those sections there, is there anything that you can add to your notebook? If so, please add it underneath our notes here. You can press pause if you need to. So now that we have some new notes set up, maybe you talked about Dog's character, maybe you talked about his motivation, some struggles, maybe even his relationship with Magpie. What we're going to do is apply this to your own reading today. So you're going to stick with one book today as you're reading, and I'd like you to write notes about the main character in your book. You can use some sticky notes to keep track of it while you're reading, but where I'd like you to end up transferring them to is our notebook here. So right underneath it, you can write the name of a character in the book that you are reading, whatever book that may be. It should be a fiction book or a narrative book to make sure you have a main character. What are you noticing about that character? Relationships with other characters, character traits, maybe motivations and struggles. So you will be adding in your writing notebook some notes about your main character. When you finish, you should have a lot of detail about your main character. So as I'm coming around today, I'm going to be looking for writers who are writing like experts by paying attention to the details. Remember, these notes are kind of like rough drafts, so if you write something down and you read further and you need to revise your notes after noticing something new, please do that. So we are reading with detail and writing about those things that we notice. Happy reading and happy writing.